The FBI has arrested Ghislaine Maxwell, the British socialite accused of procuring underage sex partners for the wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein. Maxwell lived with Epstein for years, and many women have accused her of recruiting and grooming them for sexual abuse. Epstein died last year in prison while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. His death was ruled as a suicide. Authorities outlined the charges against Maxwell earlier.
Maxwell was among Epstein's closest associates and helped him exploit girls who were as young as 14 years old. Maxwell played a critical role in helping Epstein to identify, befriend, and groom minor victims for abuse. In some cases, Maxwell participated in the abuse herself.
Well, let's go over to Washington now, where we can speak to our reporter Colin Campbell, who has more on this inquiry. Colin, good to see you there. This arrest has been awaited for some time by authorities on both sides of the Atlantic. So what kind of penalties could Ghislaine Maxwell now be facing?
Well, we have to remember that she's facing a 6-count indictment, and 2 of those counts include perjury. And most of these cases focus on 3 women. And if we're looking at past cases, each of these cases could face at least a minimum of 10 years in prison, but it could potentially face, she could face life in prison depending on what the judge rules. So we're looking at a very serious case here, obviously, when we're looking at all the different counts that are being announced right now, and then all of the ramifications that can come from that. So again, we look at a woman who is about 58 years of age right now. If we say that she gets the minimum 10 years for each woman, that's in 30 years right there. But of course, those numbers could be even higher, depending on what the judge rules and, of course, what comes out of the case, if there's any more information. She knows the skeletons in Epstein's closet, which is why she has been such a focus for investigators here in the U.S.
Colin, we heard also from the US acting attorney who sort of, as well as the FBI, encouraged Britain's Prince Andrew to once again come forward. How likely is that to happen?
Well, right now, it seems pretty unlikely. Just this month, there was actually last month now, at the beginning of June, there was a war of words between between Prince Andrew's attorneys and the U.S. Department of Justice here in the United States that want more cooperation coming from Andrew. And Blackford's, the attorneys that are representing Andrew, are saying that the DOJ has actually rejected attempts for Andrew to cooperate with prosecutors in the U.S. However, DOJ paints that relationship quite differently, saying that Andrew and his attorneys have been very much trying to circumvent any type of cooperation with attorneys here in the U.S. So right now, they're just battling in a war of words, and it seems unlikely that attorneys for Andrew will cooperate.
Colin Campbell there on those charges facing Ghislaine Maxwell. Thank you. Now, it's been the global